Hello everyone, it's me Jacob Berman, and today we're going to be discussing a bit about the Galatians story for a few minutes. In Galatians, Paul is arguing with James and Cephas. I've discussed this on several videos before, but the issue is there any clear indication that they are really following the same man? It's highly unlikely. In Galatians, Paul is arguing against circumcision. He's saying that Jesus agrees with his teachings, but Cephas and James are telling Paul, no, Jesus didn't teach these things. And what's interesting is Cephas, he's also called Simon Cephas. And what's interesting is when we look at the sons of Judas the Galilean, as I've mentioned before, the names of the sons of Judas the Galilean is a James and a Simon. That's interesting because we know Paul was active during the lifetime of James and Simon before they were crucified by Tiberius Alexander in AD 46. Okay. Now, if we look into the New Testament, I've discussed this before, in Acts, there's a character called Judas Barabbas. He's mentioned in where is it? Acts 15:22, and it says here, they chose Judas, called Barabbas, and Silas, men who were leaders among the believers. Now in the Gospels, people are very familiar with the fact that in the Gospels it states that Jesus Barabbas and Jesus Christ are both brought before Pontius Pilate. Both of them are brought before Pilate. Okay. Barabbas is released, and that means son of the Father. But Jesus Christ, whom is supposed to have been a pacifist, is the one that gets crucified, which is ridiculous. It makes no sense. It should have been the other way around, because Barabbas was the rebel, Jesus Christ was a pacifist. And the guys that love your enemies, turn the other cheek, blah, 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 blah. But if we go to Josephus, this is where things start getting interesting. He mentions that Judas and Matthias were brought before Herod the Great. And Matthias was executed, but Judas, 1 year later, is released by Herod Archelaus, whom was the son of Herod the Great, after Herod the Great died in 4 BC. This has got to be the same story. And by the way, the Judas I'm talking about is Judas, son of Cephas. He's actually the same person as Judas the Galilean, whom launched that famous revolt against Quirinius in AD 6 and 7. In Luke, Jesus turns the tables of tax collectors, and in Acts, it mentions Judas the Galilean's revolt. Okay. Well, if we look at the same story that Josephus tells us about the release of Judas to the Jewish crowd, with the release of Jesus Barabbas, and the fact that in Acts there is someone called Judas surnamed Barabbas, we begin to see a pattern here. Acts appears to be recognizing that Judas was released just like Barabbas, so that's why it calls him Barabbas. Literally, there's only a single letter spelling difference in the Greek. Trivial. Very trivial difference. So we see what the author of Acts is doing. Allegedly, the author of Luke and Acts are supposed to be the same person, which is pretty interesting. Both are copying from Josephus' material. Alright. And now we start to see how everything begins to make sense. Galatians appears to show that Paul, Cephas, and James are arguing over the same Jesus. They are not. Paul is following the teachings of Jesus Christ, while Cephas and James are following the teachings of Jesus, Barabbas, Judas Barabbas, Judas the Galilean. So now we see what's going on in Galatians. It takes advantage of the fact that both of them are called Jesus, but they're not the same individual. as just made clear. They are different people. Which means Cephas and James were followers of the Canaan, which means zealot in Hebrew. That is the name of the fourth philosophy of Judaism that Josephus is talking about, as the organization that was founded by Judas the Galilean. So that is what's going on here. And Paul, Cephas, and James are in no way, shape, or form talking about the same man. Not even close. So no wonder why they're at odds with each other. No wonder. Because again, remember, Paul's Jesus is Jesus Christ. Cephas and James, their Jesus is Jesus Barabbas. So Jesus Christ, Paul is on team Jesus Christ, while Cephas and James are on team Barabbas. Jesus Barabbas, the son of the father, Judas the Galilean, Judas Bar-Cephas, surname Bar-Cephas. So it was really that simple. And that's what is going on here. It was made to appear to talking about the same Jesus, but do remember, even the gospel says there are two men called Jesus. Jesus Barabbas and Jesus Christ, that do not have the same theology and ideology and political motivations in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share this video with your friends, and be sure to make sure you are still subscribed. Anyone that is subscribed to my channel, be sure you are still subscribed. The glitch is still hanging around YouTube, randomly unsubscribing people about their knowledge, including deleting their comments about their knowledge. So make sure you check all of that, because if you do, it makes sure that traffic is still continuing to come to my channel. Thank you, and I will see all of you later.